Hey guys, and welcome to another customization tutorial. My name is Roberto Jorge and I'll be guiding you through this customization process. And we are here with the project already opened, the After Effects template video memories. And as you can see at the moment, we only have video and photo placeholders. If we scroll through the timeline, and we are going to see how to replace all this and a few more tweaks. So let's start by opening the folder named placeholders. In here we will find all the elements that we are going to replace, and if we scroll on the assets, we will see that we have a few assets used, and inside the pre-comps we will have a folder named others, which is the tablet used to make the 3D look, and all the scenes, and also the tablet sequence in 2D and on the 3D. So this one here will be for further customization, and we will check on one of these scenes after we replace the placeholders, so you can have an idea of how you can change the project further. Okay, so let's start with the basic, and we go to the background, which is a wood floor, which you can right click to replace the footage by your own texture, and or you can just open this composition if you want to keep the texture. And if you select this layer and go to the effects control panel, you can colorize it to any color that you wish, and you can give it a bit more of saturation. This is an effect that is applied, the hue in saturation, so you can play around with it, or you can add any other effects. So as you can see, once you change, it will change for the whole template. I'm gonna undo and reverse it to the standard, and we can close this. So as I said, you can replace this texture by your own texture. Just bring it in and replace this one. So we can close and move on. Let's start with the medias, and then we go for the texts. I know we have a text as an intro, and we also have an outro, but we will start by the medias and then move along for the texts, and we will cover the intro and outro. So regarding the photos, we have 6 photos on each scene, and of course you can add more, or you can delete any of the photos that you don't want to use. But first of all, let's start by replacing these, and let's go to the pictures folder. So inside media's photos and then pictures, I'm going to click on number 1, right click, replace footage file, and I'm going to use the ones that I used on the preview, and I'm going to select number 1 and number 2, replace footage file. So this is a repeating process. We're not going to do this for all the pictures. It would be very boring for you watching me replacing the whole project here. So just right click, replace footage file, and then select your file. Replace footage file, and there we go. We have replaced the first photos, and as you can see, the photos are in high resolution, so they look very big, and we will take care of that in a moment. So we close this folder, and now we can open the comps folder, and I'm going to click on photo 1 until photo 6 with my shift holding down, and double click. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to open all 6 pictures, and now I'm going to select the picture number 1, press S for scale, and I'm going to scale my photo until I'm happy with it. Same for number 2, S for scale, and bring it down. This probably will happen to you as well, because usually the pictures are in higher resolutions. You can play around with the picture and put it in the position that you want. S for scale, there we go, S for scale. So it's just a repeating process, as I said. And here we go. So we have 6 photos now that we can close, and as you can see, we have our first scene almost ready. Regarding all the photos for the other scenes, the process will be exactly the same, just a matter of replacing footage and then adjusting it. So now let's go to the videos, which is this folder over here inside the medias as well, and let's select the placeholder number 1, which is this one, and I'm going to right click, replace footage, file, and I have my videos in a separate folder. So number 1, okay, this one will fit perfectly, but let's go to number 2, replace footage, file. Okay, this one is with a higher resolution, and we will adjust it as we did with the photos. So for video number 1, if we go inside, you will see that it fits perfectly, but for video number 2, you'll see that the video is much higher resolution. Well, it's 180p, and the placeholder is for 720p. So in this case, we can put the larger full HD videos inside and resize it. If it's a 720p, we will just leave it as it is. If it's smaller than that, you might have to stretch it a little bit, and probably will lose some quality. So you can use the same strategy or technique that we used in the photos with the S, but for videos, because in photos we have many resolutions, and some of them are 3:2 or 4:3, and others 3.2 point something, 4:3 point something. So I prefer to use the scale for photos, but in videos, usually when we're talking about HD, their aspect ratio will be all the same. So what I prefer to do is right click and then transform and fit to comp. Okay, and this will be exactly resized to the placeholder. So one of the techniques, but as I said, you can use the scale. So undo, and we go back to our scene, and as you can see now, we have the video perfectly fit in. One other thing that I would like to mention is, for instance, my video is longer than 12 seconds. Each scene has 12 seconds. So if I want to use a different part of my video, let's say something that is forward, I will have to bring this layer and put it here. And let's say I would want to use this part here as a start, and then like this. So you will have to play around with your video if it's too long. Just dragging the layer backwards or forwards to fit exactly what you want to show in the main composition. Okay. So as you can see now, it's a bit different from the preview, just because I moved the video around, and I can leave it like this. Okay, so regarding the videos, the process will be the same, just a matter of replacing the footage and then adjusting, and of course adjusting the timing. And we can move on to, okay, before we go to the texts, there's a folder here named video mask, and this video mask will soften the video inside of the tablet. So if we don't want to use it, we just have to double click and then disable it. And if we go to our composition, you will see now, or our main project, we will see now that there is no softening on the edges, so it looks that the light is not affecting this. Of course, it's up to you to use it or not, but it looks a bit more realistic, and you can of course adjust the mask to make it more darker or lighter. And this is, I was just touching the feather, but you have a lot of options. So as you can see, it's now a little bit more darker. I'm gonna undo, it's a bit more lighter. So it's just an option, you can disable it. Once you disable it here, it will be disabled for all the videos, or once you change here, it will be changed for all the videos inside the project. Okay, so we can close this and we go to the texts. So the first text that we will find is the intro text, the intro message. By the way, all the fonts are inside the project folder. Well, not the fonts, but a link so you can download them and use the same fonts that I used on the preview, or you can use your own choice of fonts. But as I was saying, the first text will be this one here, which, to customize it, we go to the text and then scene 00, which will be the first scene. Just have to double click and you will see here our title. Just have to double click and my new title, whoops, here. So there we go. And then if we move without timeline needle, double click and my new subtitle. It's not very original, but for the customization purposes, my new subtitle here. Yeah. I was saying that is not very original, but for the customization purposes is okay. Let me just add the line here, or I would center the text more, but I'm gonna put it as I did on the preview. And my second line. So now we have a more centered project, or more centered title. So if we go to our main project, we'll see now that we have our new title, our new subtitle, and then we go. If you want to change, well, you will want to change, of course, the last one, which is the outro text, which appears at the end. Just need to open the scene 11 and double click, and my last message. And if we go to our project, there it is. After the last scene, it appears my last message, and then fades out and it finishes. One of the options, sorry, one of the options that you might want to consider, and before I go for the rest of the texts, I will explain this now. If you want to use the project without these, without this intro text and the last message text, you have two options. One of them, just delete in the main composition and then drag all the layers around, which we're not going to do here to waste time. Or you can go to the pre-comps and go to the scenes folder, select the first one, hold shift, select the last one, bring them to create a new composition, and where it says sequence layer selected, overlap selected, and then the duration choose, well, this is freely, you can use any duration, but to look as the original, the preview that I made, use 2 seconds and dissolve front layer. So if you do this, and press OK. You will get a new scene now called scene 12. I'm gonna rename it to HDTV tut, and I'm gonna move it out of here so it will appear at the top just below our original one. And in our in our new composition tut, we will have no intro and no outro text. So this is a choice, and depending on what you want to do with the text. Okay. Another thing is, if you want to render the videos with sound, in my case my videos have sound, and you will see this audio layer here. In the preview I decided not to render with sound because I wanted to use a audio track as a background, but it's another option. If you want to render with audio, just leave these, and we only have two because we only replaced two videos. You will see this here and also in the main composition. And as I was saying, if you want to turn the audio off, just disable this too, and there will be no audio from the videos. If you want to keep the audio, just leave it as it is. Okay. And one more tip regarding the scenes. There's always the option to I'm going to create a new composition, and I'm going to use 30 seconds. It's okay. Okay. And with the scene selected, I can use, let's say, scene number 2. And now I'm going to do it manually. So in 10 seconds, I'm going to use scene number 6 and drag to the 10 seconds. Now go to the 20 seconds and let's select scene number 9. So imagine that I only wanted to use 9 scenes, and I would need to create, let me rename this to HDTV custom, so we have the project organized. In this case I will need to increase the timing to maybe 45. Okay, now it's a bit too much, but I'm gonna cut it and trim to work area. So we have now only 3 scenes working. So this will really depend on you. Just create a new composition and bring the scenes after they are customized, so you can get a different order, a different mood, so you can get it more personalized. Okay, just another tip. Let's move on with the text. So we have changed the intro and outro text, and now we are going to change the text that are present inside the scenes. So I'm going to close these and I'm going to leave only the text. So the first text that we will see, paper 1, will be inside the scene 1, paper 2, scene 2, and so on and so forth. So let's change paper 1, double click on it, you will get this paper which you can replace. Let me just new solid and make comp size, let's say I'm going to leave it white. Yeah, I'm going to leave it white. Press OK. So let's imagine that you don't want to use the paper with the lines. Just creating a solid, you can bring any other texture, and you will now have a plain sheet of paper. So as I say, it's another option, just an idea. I'm going to delete it and create it this fast, just by creating a solid, but you have several options like bringing textures in. So now we are back with our original, and just double click on the text that you want to change. New title 01, and double click my new sub title 01. Okay, so once you change the text and go to your main comp, you will see now that you have the text and the title and the subtitle changed. Of course, once again, fonts are your choice to use the ones that I used on the preview, or any other font that you have available on your computer. So also you can change the colors. Let's say you wanted a greenish, or something like this, and once you change it, you will have it on your main comp. The same applies to this one. I used all black, but you can play around with colors and mix, and you know, depending on the theme. My idea was to create for each scene one theme. In this case was a day that we went to a picnic, or I don't know if you use that word in English, barbecue, outdoors, family day, you know. And then I used another one that we were the three at the beach, and I used one theme that we went for a ride at the beach. So I played around a bit with the colors regarding the theme that I had on each scene. So you might want to play around with those. I'm gonna undo. Don't really like green and red. And this is it regarding the texts. It's just a matter of opening each one of them and replacing font texts, colors texts, and that's it. That's it. So regarding the basic customization, I think I didn't forget anything. Yeah. Okay, so let's go a little bit further now. One of the options that you might want to consider is to rearrange your scene. So let's say, well, I don't really like how Roberto put it on the scene, so I want this tablet a bit more to the left or to the right. Sorry, to the left or to the right. I want this photo here and this photo there, and well, so on. So let's go, instead of opening the pre-comp scenes and going through the scene, I'm going to, on my main comp, I'm going to select scene number 1 and double click on it, which is going to open my scene. And in here we can play around with all the objects that we have. So tablet number 1, let's play with rotation, for example. I can put it in any position. I can bring it over here, over there, send him to, don't know. So this will be up to you. Let's say I want to put here, and now I would want my paper to rotate this way, so R for rotation, and bring it here. Okay, so photo number 6 would come here, and number 5 bring it here, and number 4 would stay there, number 3 would. Okay, so I don't really like how the scene looks, but just to give you oh, and press R for rotation on this one, and let's put it this way. Okay, so as I was saying, I don't really like the scene as it is now, but as you can see, you can rearrange everything on each of your scenes. So if we go to our project now, we will have our scene totally different from what it was in the beginning. So you might want to do that, and as you saw, it's easy as this. Another option is I'm gonna press U to show me the keyframes for the camera controller, and you can, let's say that you don't want to finish with this look, you want to finish with another look, something like this, and move it longer or wider, so your scene starts like this and finishes like this. Okay, once again, I didn't like much of this movement, but you can play around with your, let's put it here, you can play around with it, so in this case moves backward and far away. We could put some more objects in the scene. I'm gonna put it a bit more, okay, so you can play around with this. Another option would be, of course, to increase the number of photos. And okay, we have some space available here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new folder, and I'm gonna put it Z so it stays last, and photos dot, and I'm gonna bring 1, 2, 3 photos. Okay, so I'm gonna use these 3 photos that we didn't use to replace any of them. I'm gonna use these 3 photos to create new placeholders here, and to do that I'm going to the medias and photos and comps, and what I'm going to do is duplicate, Control D or Command D if you're on a Mac, 1, 2, 3, so I have photo number 61, 62 and 63, hold shift, double click, opening them, and with my 3 new photos, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to delete this placeholder, this one and this one, and I'm gonna bring photo 25 here, okay, and 26, which should be 62 and 63. This is just an example, so okay, so I'm happy with them. Now we can close this one, and what I'm gonna do is on photo number 6, which is on this position here, doesn't matter which one I choose, I'm gonna choose this one here, which is near to this area. I'm gonna Control D to duplicate, and so I have number 2 photos, and I'm gonna bring photo number 61, holding Alt and drop it on top, and there we go, we have a new photo over here. I'm gonna play around with rotation, okay, and with number 61 still selected, Control D, and I'm gonna bring 62, holding Alt, so we have another photo, and I'm gonna do the same, Control D, repeat it, and number 63, there we go, and over here, play around with rotation maybe, whoops, not this one, wrong rotation. And so we have 3 more photos on the scene with a total of 9 photos. Instead, you can do the same with the tablet as well, having more than 1 tablet for each scene. Just bring the tablet in. We will have to create inside the pre-comps, we'll have to create a 2D scene, and then create a 3D tablet, 2D tablet, and then a 2D 3D tablet, and so you can drop it on top and play around like we did with the photos, just the same process, play around with it, and there you go. So one more thing that you might want to consider is we just had photos, but you can remove photos, and to remove them very easily, just disable them. once you disable it, you will have your clean scene. So then you can add just 1 or 2 or 3, doesn't matter. So just a matter of disabling them. I'm gonna enable them all. Okay, and I think this is it for this tutorial. Let's just check if we covered everything. I'm gonna close the scene, which I don't like it as it is, but it doesn't matter. So we started with the background and all the medias, photos and videos, replacing and adjusting, and then we went to the video mask. We talked a little bit about that. Texts, we saw how to customize intro, outro text, and all the text available on the scenes. You can do, didn't mention, but you can add more text to each scene, like we did with the photos. So, and then we have talked about a new set of scenes without the intro and outro text, and we also saw how to create a new project, well, not a new project, but a more customized project, changing the order of the scenes. And later on we saw how to change all the objects and their positioning, their rotation, and we also saw how to change the camera controller and adding more elements or removing elements. And this is it, basic and a little bit more advanced customization. So we will stay here. We're already with 32 minutes. Guys, I hope you enjoy, guys and girls, I hope you enjoyed the template. I hope I could help with this small video tutorial. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate, drop me a line. I will do my best and the fastest I can to help you with any problem that you find, any bug, any situation, any question that you can't seem to resolve yourself. Please drop me a line. I will answer you, probably with a video answer. Usually that's what I do. Instead of writing, I will show in the video, which is much easier for me to explain and much easier for you to understand where we can change or what are you doing wrong or whatever. So once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Hope to hear from you. Any comments, any feedback that you have, and the rating, of course, of the project. I really appreciate that. And that's it. Okay, once again, my name is Roberto